Hey everyone, what's going on, On this Sunday, February 21st, 2021, right? What's going on, I just got back from Long Island City. I had dinner with my sister and her boyfriend, and they cooked some amazing fucking rake of lamb, it was nice. With some veggies and with some rice, and it was nice. Baked, rake of lamb. Um, and here I am, just doing my podcast. I went on a fucking rant, not a rant, but I went on Facebook last night. I don't know why. I guess because it was Saturday night, and then I was thinking about the whole thing, with COVID and how things have changed, the fucking what do you call the scene, the night scene, the rave parties. I guess I don't know. Do I want to go to a rave party? I guess the reason why I went to Facebook. Usually I don't, I would just post my not paste, sorry, post my podcast, Um, the reason was that I just wanted to say something about, like all those memories and, of like being in like Bushwick and, like living a fucking, normal life in a sense that, you could have a gathering, listen to some good music and all that, right? And that's a thing in the past, and I was like, what the fuck, man? Um, which was kind of redundant, but I guess I did it. Um, I I have been trying to find a cheaper place to live, but the issue is that my current lease is not up until February of 2021. So I spoke to the leasing office downstairs, and they told me that I had to pay 4 months, up to 4 months rent if I leave the lease, if I break the lease, if I want to, And I'm going to talk to one of the managers tomorrow and see what they say, because it's a renter's market, Now you can just fucking get some good deals. And I looked at a couple of like apartments, one yesterday and one today, like obviously smaller than mine, studio apartments, but that's fine, But if I can save some money and if I can get out of the lease here, but let's see, right? I'm going to talk to them tomorrow and let's see what happens. How is your weekend going, A lot of things are happening. Including, the fucking winter is not going anywhere in Northeast. And apparently there's more fucking snow. Hopefully not. Probably rain, because hopefully it's going to warm up this week, Because it's like fucking, so cold. It has been so cold and snow on the fucking ground. I don't want to start my podcast with a negative vibe, but I guess I had to say that. It's obvious, right? It's nature. We can't do anything. Don't we have the control of weather now, At least? Not at least, sir. Don't we have the control of weather? Shouldn't we have the control on weather by now? Maybe not. That probably would be a future thing for humans to actually control the rain, the snow, the winds. I have no idea. Probably that's going to happen. Who the fuck knows, right? I listened to the entire, hour of like landing of Perseverance rover on Mars, which happened on the 18th. It landed perfectly the way it was supposed to. I'm into that stuff. So that was fucking amazing. And then it has that, drone, which is going to fly, obviously, the air. I mean, there's no air in the Mars atmosphere, but it's thin atmosphere, thinner than our Earth's atmosphere, right? So that's why they have like a rotor with double blades, and because of the battery life, the battery life is going to what did they say? Not probably, sir. It's going to fly for 90 minutes, I think, and then I think it has the solar panels on top. Yeah, that was fucking amazing. And down the road, all you people who are into that, right? Mars and space travel and all that, down the road, another mission is going to bring the samples back to our Earth, right? Our planet Earth. And just fucking imagine that we find life, as small as microorganisms. Then that's going to fucking change everything on this planet, I think. Well, I mean, when I say change, everything means our concept of how life started on this planet, etc., right? The scientific knowledge, the astrobiology, going to give us some insight, right? Insight into if there was ever life on Mars. Or if there's still life on Mars, microorganisms, or who the fuck knows. But we will see, right? We shall see in a few years. Right now, the rover, I believe, is just testing all its capabilities, right? I'm looking forward to those images and whatever the fuck, is going to send back, right? All right, so meanwhile, I believe Elon Musk is going to land his Starship on Mars. And let's have a fucking rave party on Mars, right? There's no fucking COVID on Mars. So maybe that's what we should do. Maybe that's what we should have, right? Rave. Yeah, well, that's not going to happen. Taking humans to Mars, I think that's the ultimate goal, right? And then setting up a base on Mars, right? And I think at the same time it's going to happen on Moon. All right, so yeah, that was great. What else is going on, huh? I was actually talking to one of my friends, I think, on the text, and my sister was talking about our other sister. I think she's going to get engaged, and I was thinking about this whole thing about marriage, right? And I was texting my friend that I think this whole marriage betrothed, I think us humans have to actually rethink the whole thing, Rethink the whole thing, sir? What thing? The marriage thing, right? Because traditionally speaking, you get married, right? Whether you marry in a church or whatever, right? But it's some sort of a pact, right? Pact, is that the word I want to use? It's some sort of a mutual, not agreement, but mutual like understanding. Is that the word? Understanding. Mutual understanding of two people wanting to live together forever. So what does that mean? What I mean to say is that I think the whole thing, if I were to get married, right? If I want to get married, I don't think I want to use the term marriage. I think I want to use something else, something more practical, because marriage has all these caveats attached to it, and you have to do a prenup, and etc., blah blah blah. I don't want to fucking deal with that, So, not friends with benefits, no, because if I want to have a relationship with somebody, she and I will have to basically, obviously come up with the mutual agreement of living together, right? So I think we should rename the word marriage with something else. We rename it. We should rename it. So somebody's got to coin a term, right? Coin a term to replace marriage. Is there one already? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, so many marriages fail because of the obvious fucking reasons, right? One reason is that, people who get married, they had this utopian idea or thinking of being in a relationship as marriage, living together, without really knowing each other, right? And then the dark side comes out, right? The dark fucking side on both sides, whatever it is, right? Because living together, under the contract of marriage, it's not easy, But, both parties have to actually compromise, right? Compromise. And there's no such thing as a perfect marriage or an ideal fucking betrothed, right? No, it's not. So it has to be based on mutual understanding. Am I saying the obvious? Am I stating the fucking obvious? Maybe I am. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the whole institution of marriage should be reconsidered, right? I understand for the purposes of tax, because the government is involved now in the private life of people. So, if you are married, your taxes are different, or you're taxed different, right? Your personal taxes, as opposed to you being single. That's one thing. And then there are other things, do you want to have like a common account for your phone, for bills, etc., and it just gets complicated. I would rather say to my significant other, listen, baby, you keep whatever the fuck you have, right? And, you pay your own bills, you pay for your own phone, right? I'll pay for mine, right? And then we share the other like bills, right? We share the rent. Hopefully, by that time, I'll have, I don't know, will I have a place actually that I would have bought by then? I have no fucking idea. I mean, given the situation that I don't have any fucking money, I don't think I will have any savings. I mean, I don't have any savings to actually buy something, right? So rent, you share, right? Obviously, or come up with some terms, come up with some like mutual terms, and it doesn't have to be like a word written or inscripted on a stone, right? Forever. It doesn't have to be like that. So that's the point I'm trying to make, is that we don't have to make this whole marriage thing fucking complicated the way it is, right? So that's what I think I'm going to do if I get married. And maybe I won't get married. Who the fuck knows? I mean, just, live together. Don't call it a marriage. All right, okay. So I guess I don't want to beat the dead horse. Or horse to death, right? It's not easy. It's not easy to actually have some sort of a utopian relationship these days, with all this media, so much going on, all the technology, and then, we all are busy with our lives, etc., etc. So a traditional marriage, I think, is already out of the question, right? Okay, so there are many things I think we have to adapt to now, given the new era, right, in the 21st century. It's actually good to actually have somebody in your life, with whom you can share whatever the fuck you want to share, or let them share, right? But the practical piece of advice is that you spend enough time together before you make that decision, right? To be together forever. And there's no such thing as being together forever anyways, right? Given that half of the marriages end up in fiasco, right? But all you people getting married out there, I wish you all my best of luck and all my fucking love, right? There you go. It's already 11 o'clock on a Sunday night, and I'm just going to do a short and sweet another podcast for this week. We have we have new realities, obviously, and we are coming to face new realities. What are the new realities, sir? Well, I mean, pandemic obviously is one fucking new reality. And then all the associated, hoopla, and then the disasters, right? I said that winter this year was going to be a long fucking depressing winter, and that's what is happening here, at least. But I'm looking forward to actually going on vacation in May. So, to San Diego. At least be on the fucking beach, although I'm not a big beach person, but I guess I'll be on the beach, right? Maybe swim, depending on how the waters are out there, right? Pacific Ocean. I want to actually, go to the mountains nearby. I was talking to my sister's boyfriend. He actually grew up in San Diego, so he was giving me some tips as to where to go, and I'm going to, ask him for more tips. So we will see, right? We will see. This is the other thing I was thinking about, right? Um, Besides what's happening these days, what is it that we as individual human beings, right, have or want in our lives? I'm not talking about like material things. I'm talking about like a fucking a change in some sort of a lifestyle. I think starting last year into this year, um, have been disastrous, obviously, but I think it has also opened our eyes in that, at least for me, I realized that, with all that, you know, um, with the fucking pandemic and then associated, what the fuck was going on, right? Cripple the planet and all that. I think I want to take this as an opportunity instead of as a disaster. And, step by step, I want to like bring changes in my life, which I already am, you know. I'm coming to this realization that, there are things which are not worth my time or my energy or my, effort. And there are other things which I should be focusing on, um, reaching out to friends, obviously focusing on work, and then, just, working on, finer, like working on doing finer things in life. That's very important. And what actually satisfies us, and I think I said this before, that travel is something that I haven't done, so I want to do that, although things are still kind of fucking iffy, you know. But I don't want to have that as a fucking hurdle, And I just want to do things that I like to do within my own means. And, and the best thing for me, I think, is because I'm a guy who actually, complains a lot about a lot of things. But, and there are reasons, obvious reasons why I should complain, right? Gazillion reasons for my gazillion complaints, right? However, I have learned to actually put a thick skin on in a sense that, like chicken shit things in my life, those should not affect me, So somehow, if we can learn how to circumvent, these small things, then that actually brings us a step forward or a step up, in our quality of life. Then, we can focus on things which really matter to us and which we want to do. I think for me, spending good time, a quality time with my girlfriend, and then, reaching out to friends, and then let them reach out to me, etc., right? Sometimes I'm in my own fucking head, thinking about, a lot of things which are happening around the globe, but if there's anything I can do, I should focus on that, instead of like fucking, getting worked up about what the fuck is happening out in the world, because it's really not my problem, and I can't really do anything, if I can't do anything to bring a change, a positive change, there's no point, wasting fucking time, right? And so I'm just going to focus on what I think in my immediate life are affecting me. That's it. So that's fucking it. And, meanwhile, I'm doing this, if I can help somebody, if I can do something to actually, give some sort of a boost to my inner peace, then I'll do it, along the way. But there are a lot of things I want to do, There are a lot of things I want to do, but in order for me to actually focus on the things that I feel appreciative of, I need to be like calm, Calmness is very important. Calmness in everybody's life is very important. Calmness, some sort of a ground, some sort of an anchor, So inner peace is very important. Inner, like inner self. What our inner self actually uses is some sort of a positive intake, Positive intake from externalities surrounding our lives, That's very important. So I'm not saying that I'm going to turn into some sort of a fucking, Eckhart Tolle, I'm not that. And I still, like to, live I guess what I'm trying to say, going back in fucking circles as I am, right? Is that I want to live a full life, a life to its fullest, And I just have to focus on, for example, in my free time, what is it that I like to do? So I have to basically just think through this and see what I like to do, I want to actually take up some sort of sports, hopefully when the weather breaks, this fucking winter breaks, right? I think I'm going to take up some golf or something like that, And besides my podcast, obviously, this is something I like to do. Just talk, talk shit, I guess. Talk about anything I want to talk about. And then I do realize that I have to actually reach out to people, And as humans, us being social animals, we can't, live our lives by ourselves. We think that, we can just reach out to people through Facebook or even like fucking text messages and all that. That's not enough for us. That's not going to satisfy our true core nature of living social life. I'm not talking about being a social butterfly, right? I'm talking about, having this quality circle of very few people in your lives, family, friends, whatever, your significant other, that helps. And then just, we all have to chill out. We all have to fucking chill out, regardless of what the fuck is happening out there, politics, and, or not politics, or whatever the fuck it is, right? Because these days, again, without repeating myself, a lot of things are actually affecting people's life based on what the fuck is happening on social media, you know. And people are such, or have become such like soft, you know, they have become so soft that if somebody says something to them, they're just fucking, I don't know, it becomes a fucking big deal, you know? Um, and, uh, sorry, I'm just sending my sister a text message. I guess what I'm trying to say is that we have to like fucking realize that, you know, nothing can actually affect us. If you think about life, right? Life is someone who actually is, you know, grounded pretty much, who chills out. You know, I'm learning that. I'm in that fucking learning stage, you know. And then you realize that, you know, whatever is happening on the outside, you know, that really doesn't affect you unless it's something um, to do with your, you know, immediate life and all that. But other than that, if you think about everything else, social media, fucking, you know, there are gazillion podcasts, there's news, there's all kinds of fucking mouthpieces out there, you know, with their own fucking agenda and ideas and ideology. But I think uh, it's up to us individuals to actually, you know, be like rivers and carve our own path, you know, positively, obviously, right? Without hurting people or without doing anything stupid, right? And and I think that's where our core values are, you know. Um, Nothing materialistic, actually. I feel that, I mean, you know, I'm not a fucking messiah, or I'm far from being a fucking messiah. You know, material things obviously we need, and everybody needs money, right? But these things really, okay, you know, they can satisfy us to an extent, you know, as means. We use them as means, and you know, but not really. The happiness is something else. I think the happiness is tied to our like core, you know, it's our fucking core. And then I'm not talking about being on fucking, you know, high, being on some sort of you know, mind altering whatever, but the core values actually come from our heart, from our inner selves. I think I mean, that's easy to say, I know, but you got to start somewhere, right? And then, you know, logical life is better to live than an emotional life, right? But balance. Balance is very important. Balance, you know. I sometimes lose my fucking mind, you know. But I'm learning to not do that because, again, there's no point. Am I fucking just repeating myself, or am I being like fucking too explicit or like obvious? Whatever. Um, Things go on, time moves forward regardless of what we do or what we don't do, and time never waits for us, you know. So focus on things that we want to do now. It's now. There's no fucking future time. It's now. That's it. It's now. So these are the things that I'm learning in my life, you know. And it's great, it's fucking great to actually like live a life, independently. It's always nice to live a life, that is um, that is devoid, that is devoid of like horseshit, I mean, obviously, sir, but to achieve that is the key here. That's the fucking key here, you know. I talk nonsense many a times, Uh, for most part, I'm logical, but sometimes when my fucking, what is that, left hemisphere of my brain, or whatever the fuck it is, the emotional side, and then, I just think a lot about just one thing, and, it just fucking creeps in. And that's the thing that I am learning to not do that, right? So, um, I'm just looking forward to some, like, at least like some fucking warm, in the 50s days, and many of us, many of you obviously feel that way, right? It's pandemic, and then on top of this fucking cold. But I still go, I still go out, not go out, but, I still go to the fucking parks along Hudson, and bask in the sun, although it was fucking cold. Today, I went to the bagel shop actually in Hoboken. I got my egg sandwich and then, OJ. And it's nice to just like not do anything, not think about anything, just have your sandwich and just, and just enjoy looking at the snow, right? Yeah, I mean, small things in life can actually make you feel satisfied, right? Is that, I mean, am I saying that just for the sake of saying? Um, yeah. But at the same time, I think for me, it's very unsatisfying. Life is unsatisfying, or not satisfactory, unless I'm in my full fucking, you know, what do you call, what is that mode when you are running some sort of a machine, at the highest caliber, whatever the fuck it is, right? And then I feel that I'm just doing, I'm doing okay, I feel like it's mediocre. Sometimes I feel like I'm living a mediocre life. Mediocre, is that how you say it? But, uh, that's the secret of life, right? That's the fucking secret of life. If you can, not live a mediocre life, and just do the fucking thing that you want to do, all right, so enough about me. I think I ranted a lot. I mean, I didn't really rant, but I said a lot about me and what I feel about life and all that, right? Just find our things, man. Find our fucking things. And, don't fall off the fucking wagon and all that, right? All that good jazz. And music. Music, actually, I feel that, and I have always felt, and many of you, or almost every one of you, feel that music has some sort of a soothing, therapeutic element to it. Listening to some good music always makes me feel calm, and I realize that, and I'm realizing that more, Before I, like, pass the fuck out, I try to listen to some, like, calming music, that helps. at night, and these small things, praying. I don't usually pray or anything like that, but I guess I will have to somehow. I think some sort of praying is some sort of meditation. I mean, I don't believe in a traditional like a deity or any of that. I think I said that many times that maybe there is some things, some entity out there. I have no idea. I've never crossed that experience in my life. To say that, oh yes, I feel there's some sort of a higher being or something like that. But maybe not. I have no fucking idea. In any case, so am I going to be like a fucking agnostic uh, who is going to be like a fucking, what do you call, a selfish agnostic, or a selfish somebody who prays when he needs and doesn't give a shit when he doesn't need, right? Well, I'm selfish in many ways. I admit that, many of us are, but we have to be selfish for ourselves in a good way, because if we can't make ourselves satisfied to a certain extent, then we can't really do anything for others. So if we don't do it for us, then we can't do it for anybody else. All right. So I think I have maybe 1 or 2 topics in my cheat sheet, and then I'm going to take it easy, probably watch a movie or continue watching the show I'm watching, Legends of Tomorrow, although it's getting like worse and worse with every new fucking season. In any case, so let's just get into our cheat sheet. My first topic, let's see if I have any topics. I'm sorry, I apologize. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Oh, this is one thing I did today, right? This is what I was doing. You know how you have all these fucking apps on your iPhone, if you have an iPhone, right? I don't know much about Androids because I never had an Android phone, but I was trying to basically like combine all these apps. Many of them, you don't fucking use. So I was doing that, and then I'm fucking realizing that I can't find the apps where I actually stored them. Like which apps I combine, right? It will take me a few days to actually make myself familiar with this, right? So I think I combine notes with calendar and what the fuck not, right? Let me see. Did I combine notes with calendar? Come on. Edit home screen. Okay, hold on a second. I'm just trying to move this calendar. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I was trying to look for notes. That's where I usually have the items in my cheat sheet. All right, here we go. Manchester City versus Tottenham, right? That was a fucking great Premier League soccer match I saw last week. And Manchester City, that's my fucking team. And they basically crushed Tottenham with 3-0. I think it was 3-0. That was a fucking great game, The first goal was like fucking, what was it? Like a penalty kick. And then they just took over the fucking field, The offense was so fucking great, They didn't give it a chance to Tottenham. Toads, right? Is that how you call them? I have no fucking idea. These are European leagues. Premier League, right? All right, everyone. So I'm going to keep watching that. I think there are more games coming up. Let me see. Are there any more games? Let me just check the schedule. Premier League schedule. Premier League schedule. Here we go. Okay, so there are games coming up. Brighton is playing versus Crystal Palace. Manchester City is playing on Saturday, actually, February 27th. At 7:30 a.m.? What the fuck, dude? I'm not going to be getting up at 7:30 a.m. to watch this game. And these are all times in Eastern Standard Time, right? Okay, so let's see. Maybe I can watch it later on YouTube TV, right? All right, everyone. My next topic, if I have any more topics, is the disaster in Texas. Okay, I was actually talking to my ex-colleagues on text, and look what happened in fucking Texas, right? It's a fucking disaster. My 2 cents on that one is that obviously I think the infrastructure is not designed. I think Texas, at least the power infrastructure, is not designed for a disaster weather like this, for obvious reasons. And then, the nuclear source of power, that's the cleanest and that's the fucking most reliable, I believe. But for the obvious reasons, everybody's fucking blaming wind turbines, that they actually froze. However, it's about the whole fucking infrastructure they need to change. Their power infrastructure, water. I have no fucking idea what the fuck's happening with water. But I think there's going to be a problem across the country, right? I think the country needs to spend a lot of money in infrastructure revival, right? Because we are so much dependent, obviously, on electricity. We can't do anything without electricity. Remember the show, fucking Revolution, which I actually rewatched a few of the episodes of the second season. When electricity, goes out on the entire planet, then it becomes a fucking apocalyptic scenario, So it's something as basic as electricity or water, it's like a fucking disaster, man. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to fucking go into the politics of what the fuck happened down there, but I mean, it's just a disaster. It's a fucking disaster. Why don't they fucking, invest? I hope they do now, after this, in making the power grid or the power sources, with the nuclear and all that, right? Same goes for all the other states, right? And I don't think anybody should be blaming wind turbines, And wind turbines is only 10% of the whole Texas is power consumption or power load, or the megawatts or gigawatt needs, right? Gigawatt hour needs of the entire state. But regardless, it's a matter of infrastructure and basic fucking infrastructure. If they don't have electricity, and what's the, it's, I don't know. I don't want to fucking go on and on about this. And I'm hoping that, other states follow the suit, other states which are prone to disasters, In our area of Northeast, we have had something like Sandy. And are we ready for another Sandy? I have no fucking idea. Probably not. And hopefully there's no other Sandy. There's no another Sandy, All right, everyone. Speaking of, last but not least, speaking of movies, right? So I watched that movie from the 1990s, right? Doors, about about Jim Morrison of the rock band Doors. Fucking great movie, played by Val Kilmer. Fucking wild movie. And this is like the fucking 60s and 70s California. But then he died. He died early. Obviously, he had. He was a fucking wild guy. On the stage and his like off stage life, I think. And that was a fucking great movie, by the way. And then I think I'm gonna watch another movie tonight. And I told you guys, I have been watching that fucking Legends of Tomorrow, DC's Legends of Tomorrow. It is not as good as the first few seasons. But I've been following that, so I'm going to continue watching that, right? Unless you guys can suggest something to me, but I guess I'll find something else if I get tired and sick and tired of that, right? All right, everyone, it's already 51 minutes, and I presume you all are having a great weekend, or had a great weekend, and I will see you all next week.